Okay, so in this video, it's going to actually be a series, I think, of just Audacity tips and tricks and tutorial stuff. So it's specifically for Eminem fan albums. Obviously, you can use any songs though, but this is if you're going to make an album and you want to do your own custom changes, sort of like I've done. I mean, this applies to other people maybe if you're not even making a fan album, but you want to learn how to do stuff on Audacity. This is the video for you. And the first thing I want to talk about is what is possible. So I'm gonna do in this video verse reordering, hook exchanging, um, hook repeating. It's all the names are pretty self-explanatory. Adding instrumental fade-ins or fade-outs to songs, shortening instrumental. So that's like if there's a 30-second intro to a song and you want to change it to 10 seconds, or say you want to remove a word, like for example in Warriors Part 2, the song by Lloyd featuring Eminem, 50 Cent, and Nate Dogg. I removed the part where Eminem shouted remix because it's not even a remix. I don't know why he said that. Um, I mean, yeah, it does say part two, but it's not like a remix at all. So I removed that. I'll show how to do that. Adding basic sound effects and adding sound effects and then basic remixing and extending. So that's like adding in a verse of a remix or extending a song. So say you have the chloroseptic normal version and the remix version and you want to combine them, that stuff like that. And then song transitions, which is if you're specifically doing an album and you want to have two songs transition well, like no pause in between them and stuff like that. So starting off, I just want to show some examples. You can pause the video and look at this if you want, but these are stuff that I've done using Audacity. Some of this stuff is not like Audacity, for example. Um, yeah, like some of this stuff I didn't use Audacity, but anyways, most of it I like making a hook longer, making a skit out of an intro, ending the song in a different way, adding ad libs, custom skits and stuff like that. All that stuff, you should be able to learn a lot of info for doing that in this video. So what we're gonna do is this is gonna be just an example. I'm not actually doing this for a project or anything. So I have the song You Don't Know. So first, what you want to do is you just drag and drop it onto Audacity. It's pretty simple. It'll automatically do everything. And then what you do from here is, well, in this video I'm going to be doing verse reordering. So what I want to do is make 50 Cent's verse last, I'm thinking, and then Eminem's verse first. So what we're first going to do, and I don't know, that's just what I did in my King Mathers, so I decided I'll do that. One thing before we get started, I'm going to just add in little tips and stuff even if it's not relevant. If your song looks like really quiet, it's like this or something, and it looks like really quiet when you play it compared to other songs, what you can do is you can go to Effect and Amplify, and it will tell you. So the song's already completely amplified, but if you do this, it'll put an automatic number, say it'll be like 1 or like 0.5, and what this does is it makes the song the highest volume it can be without making it terrible quality. Obviously, you know, ear rape is if I go like this, it'll just be like and just sound terrible. So and I'm not going to do anything to this song, but if your song is from like a bootleg CD or something, that's something to take note of. Another thing is, while I'm talking about random stuff, MP3s automatically add in blank sound at the start and end of clips. Now, this is just because of the way it works, so it's really annoying for me when I do fan albums, but um, basically what that means is you'll be hearing a song, it'll end, and then instead of just smoothly going into the next song, it'll just like absolutely no sound. So I'll just show the example. The song fades out here, like, and it's really super short, so you might not be able to tell, but you can definitely tell. So as you can hear, it's just completely blank. Um, and you always have to remember is just when you are about to export a song, always just delete this. Now, what I like to do is I like to zoom in, and one thing to note is that it has to have blank audio, so it can't just immediately end here. You need to leave like 3 dots. This is like barely a fraction of a second, so it doesn't matter, but you need to leave at least a few dots um, of blank audio, and then same for the start of the song. It usually adds more at the start, but like for this, I mean, for most songs you can leave it, but for example, Deja Vu in Mr. Mathers' skit, you don't want to have like a second of blank audio. between Mr. Mathers, the skit, and Deja Vu, because it'll just be awkward. So yeah, I'll just remove most of this. Doesn't matter that much. Anyways, now getting into the actual tutorial, sorry about that, is we're going to find Eminem's verse and we're going to copy it. So, or we're going to cut and paste it. So I believe it's the second verse. Now what you need to do with this is copy a little bit of the hook. So this is what I call the split method, and I'll show that in just a second. So first we need to locate the verse. I don't know if this is going to be super loud. I'll put it like this maybe. I'll just decrease it a little bit just in case. I'm just doing my thing. So we find his verse. So once you find his verse, you want to highlight right before it. So basically you have like 3 seconds of the hook before. We're just going to copy or highlight that, and then you can hold down shift to drag this, and then that's just what you use. You just click on the thing, and it's this tool. If you ever mess something up, it's this top left tool, selection tool. So now we're going to drag it all the way to the end of his verse. And one thing to remember is we need to get a few seconds of the hook, and I'll explain everything after this. So we have his verse. What kind of possession is that? So we have his verse ending here. Hold on. Okay, one thing is, this is, I guess I'll just do both, but for the sake of this video, I was going to try to put Eminem on all the hooks. So what you're going to want to do, in this case, normally you would just leave it like that with a little bit of the hook, but I'm going to select the whole hook. Whoops. So, sorry, it can get confusing with the sound waves, but you'll get used to it eventually. Okay, so that's perfect. So we're going to copy and paste his verse. Yeah, so we're going to, I'll put it down here. And then what we're going to want to do is we're going to try to locate the start of the song after the hook, obviously, but so let's keep going. And then once again, we're going to do the same thing that I've always been doing. You're going to copy a little bit of the hook, and then we're just going to take the whole song and we'll just move it back. Just for the sake of this, we don't need to worry about 50 Cent's verse yet. So now what you do is you take the bottom half, which is the Eminem verse, and now you just need to link it up. So it's pretty simple, and what I've done, this is going to be, I'm probably going to be doing the split method. No, not that. Which is the first one. So first, let's just listen to where we're at. So he's saying, so he's saying this flow is going to bring Modo. And then this goes right about at the end. It looks like, I think, or maybe it's a little bit off. Hold on. Okay, perfect. So we can tell that the waves are matching, but what you need to do is you need to just zoom in. So you hold down Control, by the way, and you use the mouse wheel. That's how I've been zooming in. You want to go to the start of like one of these big waves, and you just zoom in. And also, I'm using this tool, by the way. You didn't already notice. But you just go in and you try to link up as many of these dots as possible. You can see how they go like that. And then what you do is you just take this, and you're going to notice it's going to be really loud for a second. So all you got to do is you just highlight this and you drag it holding shift and left click until you have the yellow line light up. Control X just to delete it. Wait. Oh, sorry about that. Forgot I decreased the volume, but that actually that didn't really work out. How come? Let's do a different method. So I don't know if you could tell, but it sounded a little bit off. If we go like this, it got like really loud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do the opposite and do generate silence. The reason for this is if you just do Control X, it moves your whole song up, so it gets out of sync. So what you want to do is you want to do generate silence, and then it'll go like that. Now let's test it. Um, oh, is this, why is this still at, okay, I don't know why the volume was like fucked up, but um, we don't have to do that method. You can go here. Sorry about that. But actually, I do think this sounds better. But anyways, you get the idea. You just keep fooling around until it works perfectly. So you always have these two. You can either cut the bottom or the top, depending on which one sounds better. So. And it keeps fucking decreasing every fucking time, which is really annoying. That's a glitch or something. So I'll just play it without talking, but it goes really like smoothly. If I'll just zoom in so that you can't tell when it happens, but I mean, you could kind of tell because of the gray on the bottom, but you couldn't even tell that this was edited. It just sounds like an official song. So, so that's perfect. That's all you do. This is what I call the split method. The reason for that is it's just completely split. It's top and bottom, just exactly transitions. If I were to move this one up, the waves would connect exactly. I mean, not exactly, but they would be like maybe one like thing off, but it's exactly, you can't tell. So now we've reordered the verses there, and then the second part is going to be connecting it to the second half of the song. So let's look. Okay, so I'm actually gonna put 50's verse before because actually no, I kind of like 50's verse closing it, so I'll leave it like that. And what we're gonna do is just try to hook it up, or like always. So you can get a bit confusing, but you just got to look for the major like landmarks in the waves, I guess you could say. So like I would say, I think that's pretty good. Actually, I want to have, yeah, that's perfect. And sometimes what you can do is you can go to a different part of the song. Oh, yeah, actually, this is even right. Hold on. Just realized. Should be like, let's just test it. Okay. This is farther back. Hold on. Okay. So in this case, we actually don't have enough audio to complete the hook. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go over here. I don't like that Tony Aho just yelling, yeah, yeah, yeah. So what I think I'm gonna do is okay, so I'm just going to copy a little bit of that so we can get the clean transition in. We'll move this to the bottom. This will be like sort of our bridge into the audio, just so it's perfect. So let's hook it up like perfect. There we go. So yeah, obviously the sound warps really bad when you overlay it like that because it's 2 times the volume. So what we're going to do is just link it up like always. It should be pretty easy because they're just all the same. And then what you can do is delete this. You can't even tell. Perfect. So now what we do is we just do the second part. So it looks like it's going to go about to here, I think. Or is it all the way up here? Wait. Oh wait, that's 50 Cent's verses. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. This is the whole rest of the song. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put what's his name, Cashis and Lloyd Banks first in the middle. And by the way, sorry, this is kind of a long video, and I'm sort of going slowly. It's hard to really explain it. You just need to learn it yourself, but I'm showing the methods as I do it. It's like a live video, I guess. I'm not the best at tutorials, but here we go. We got to find the verse, and we're going to copy a little bit of the hook, like always.
Play Ricochet. This flow is gonna bring more dough. You know what you can look it down now. Pistol play Ricochet. And I'm always on acting like it down now.
Okay, we definitely got enough of that. So we're just going to copy that, and we're going to put that here. So we'll have his verse, or those two verses there. Where does this go? It goes like that. Yep, it's perfect. You can automatically tell when it's all linked up perfectly. Like if this was over here, you could sort of tell this is uneven. This has like two big things, and we're gonna do the same method. You just zoom in super close. Now it looks like I got it. So then we can just delete the upper half. I prefer to delete the upper half because it doesn't require you to go to generate silent. So let's go here. Yeah, so that's perfect. So now we've got this all done, and after this verse, we're gonna need to get into 50 cents verse. So what we do here is we have the hook started. So for this case, we're gonna need to get an actual full hook because we don't have one. So what I can do here is I can actually copy. Since I wanted to put Eminem on all the hooks just to make it like Eminem's song, because instead of only 50, so we're gonna get his hook. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to just do this so it's easier for you guys to see. Actually, no, we don't want to highlight all. What you want to do, I just Control X, and if you click down here, you can paste it into a new audio track. But I'm going to highlight this, so we have these two tracks. You go to Tracks, Mix and Render. So now we're going to have this is our mix, and then we'll have the rest of the song here. So anyways, we need to copy. So let's just highlight that. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and then we'll put this up here. So now we got to deal with the hook. So once again, just link it up. It should be starting here. Okay, perfect. It's gonna go about, is it up one? I think it's like that. Alright, perfect. So again, we're gonna just sync it up. So let's zoom in here. Usually you wanna, I mean, this isn't the case for all songs, but you wanna go to the furthest up to the left. You don't wanna like go in here and then match these up, because it's like you're just gonna delete this anyways. So it's just hard to explain, but it'll always be precise if you go to the far left, because some songs the speed or changes, or like it's a little bit different. The beat varies, but yeah. So we just gotta get this going. I think that's good. Yeah, we'll go one back. Okay, so now we just do the same thing we've always been doing. We just delete this. Oh wait.
For my digits, you dig it, so we run it. You know, you acting like you don't know. I tell you.
Alright, so that's good. And then we're just gonna need to end it off with the verse. So
it's gonna bring more dough. You know what you acting like.
We obviously want to get rid of the Cashis part, because
you know what you acting.
So he's starting at U, and then
you know what.
Okay, perfect. So it's gonna need to be pretty close here. I'm gonna keep this part in just so that I can have the instrument audio levels to see it. So I think it's just like this. I'm not sure actually. No, that's not. Okay, I think that's good. So again, just we're gonna sync this up. It looks like it goes. This is a bit more confusing, I think. There we go. So let's get this linked up. Then obviously delete the Cashis part. And then we'll specifically link this part up again, just because remember that you want to go to the far left. I think. Oh, this is kind of weird. Okay. What if I just I think this might call for the puzzle method, so we're gonna have it overlay here. So okay, so we gotta remove this. Yeah, see, that's just not perfect. I gotta work on this a little bit, so it takes a bit of time sometimes. What we need to figure out is exactly where it transitions. So like, because the waves are a little bit different. So I think what we should do is if we yeah, I think we're gonna have to leave it like this, and then I'll just have this part go like fade in, fade out. Let's try it. Sorry for turning it up super loud, but I just like to make sure I can't hear any problems. Now, it is a little bit off. What you would have to do in this case is remember the bridge thing where I had the song, and then I had that little copy part of the hook. You would have to do that. You would copy the thing from the start, but I don't want to go all into that. That just takes too much time. So I'll just play this for the last time here. This flow is gonna bring Alright, so there we go. Now what we can do is finish off the song. So we're gonna get to the end of 50's verse and we're gonna copy, or we're gonna cut it out, except leave a little bit of the hook. Okay, so we're just gonna copy that out. Then we need to get the outro, so spit it high, live it all the way to the limit, and I'm always on my pivot for my digits. You dig it, so we run it. You know that. Okay, there we go. Actually, let's get a little more just in case. Okay, so we've got that, and then we can just delete this part. Those are the verses we already used. So, yeah. Down now. You know. Jack can like it down now. You know Jack can like. Okay, let's sync it up like we've always been doing. Where does this go? Looks like this. Zoom in. Get this perfect. Okay, we're gonna do the this one because we want to leave his transition because his voice sort of overlays with the hook. I think. Let me just check. Big deal, nothing but some you know Jack can like it down now. So in this case, it wasn't that much, but you know how when they have the guys rapping, and he goes to about here, but then the hook starts a little bit before where it's overlaid. That's why you want to just keep this part intact and then add on the hook. Because if I cut that part out, maybe he was rapping and he was finishing off his last line and then just cut. So I don't know if you heard that, but right here we had a little bit of a skip. I'll just play it. It sounds like a little blank audio for just a millisecond. So when you get that, what you only thing you have to do is just double check that you're all synced up. And if it looks like you are, so in this case, yeah, it looks like I think I'm pretty much dead on. I could try going back one. Let's see if that fixes it. So then same thing, delete this. So yeah, I still heard it. So what we need to do then is we're gonna just delete most of this. And then this is what I call the puzzle method. I did it earlier. Now what it means is you still have this completely synced up, but what you do is you leave a little bit of overlay, and we're gonna have a short fade in, and then we're gonna have a short fade out. The lengths of the fades don't really matter, but it just, you make sure it sounds good. So I think that was a little bit long because you could hear the beat. Just go like that. You could hear the beat like go twice. So let's try it now. You know that can like it down now. I said get down now. So yeah, that was perfect. There's not that little click in it, and yeah. So I call this a puzzle method because if I just look up, wait, hold on. Yeah, sorry, I was just double checking the name. If we just look up a puzzle, as you can see, I'm trying to get the right picture. Imagine that. Okay, these are all kind of shit. I was trying to look at a line, but they're all going to be like that. Okay, so imagine that this line is your audio. Okay, now when we're rearranging verses, we're taking the verse and then a little bit of the hook, remember? A little bit of the hook. And by the way, this is really cheesy, but I don't give a fuck. So, and then you take it and you rearrange it here maybe. And then what you have is you have a little bit of the audio overlaying. You see how this is going over and this is going over? That's like this, how this is going over, this is going over. But then it's not just like a square puzzle, it's like curved. And the curve is showing that we have a fade in, the audio curves up and it curves down. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. And then if we were just to have like squares, chessboard, this is the only thing I can think of. If we were just to have like these were the puzzle pieces, just flat, 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 that would be the split method, which I did earlier. I think I compiled the track, but that's when it's just if this was gone and it was just flat. So there's two methods. Each one is used in a different situation. It just depends on what you're doing. Most of the time, though, I'll just say this in really high quality and new songs. Well, actually, that's not true. Revival was mixed pretty badly, but in most new songs, you can just do the split method. But in older songs that are like low quality, such as leaked songs or mixtape songs, or to be honest, Revival, I had to do this. I made a Chloroseptic remix. You have to use the puzzle method because the audio just isn't good. It's hard to explain, but it's better to do it like that. So I think we're all done here. Obviously, I didn't. Oh, and if you ever see this, you just can click on it to make it go away, if you're ever wondering. But I was going to put Eminem on all the hooks, but now that I think about it, it's exactly the same thing I've been doing. So let's find his hook. So this is his verse, and then remember we have the hook is about here. So this is just an example, but we would copy the hook out, remember, or actually not cut it, but we would copy the hook, and then I would say this is the second hook, then I would go here, then I would do generate silence, and then I would have the puzzle method obviously here, which I could cut into the split method, but for now, I'd link it up, and then I would just delete that, and then link it up and delete that. So that's pretty much what you would do if you wanted to put M on all the hooks. It's exactly the same as the verse, except it's a hook. I mean, I just explained it. So I will have the song if you want to download it. But I think that's going to be part one. And sorry, this was kind of a long video now to think about it, but I just really wanted to go in depth to help some people out. This has been a tutorial on how to reorder verses and a bunch of other stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll get you guys on part two.